Welcome to the Security DNA podcast powered by SecurityInfoWatch. This is your front line for bold insights and real intelligence that cuts through the noise and gets straight to what matters most. At SecurityInfoWatch, we deliver sharp, real-time insights into the biggest challenges facing security and risk professionals today. From emerging threats to game-changing technologies, we go beyond the headlines to provide expert analysis, real-world strategies, and critical risk intelligence, giving you the knowledge you need to stay ahead in this rapidly evolving landscape. I'm Samantha Schober, producer and sometimes host, and today we're going to be talking to Russ Munisteri, Director of Education at MyComputerCareer. So let's get started. Russ is a seasoned IT professional boasting over 25 years of experience in systems administration, cybersecurity, and technical education. As Director of Education at MyComputerCareer, he leverages his extensive industry background and teaching expertise to prepare learners for success in IT and cybersecurity. So Russ, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic, and it's great to finally get you on the podcast.
Oh, thank you very much.
So this is a pretty timely episode of Security DNA because, to me at least, it feels like there's some flavor of major data breach happening every other day. Feels like we're at a crossroads of geopolitical turmoil, legislation curbing the effectiveness of agencies like CISA, and emerging technologies like AI giving hackers a lot more tools under their belt. So at least now it does seem at least like organizations are beginning to understand the importance of investing in cybersecurity preparedness, especially training. But before we kind of kick off the discussion, I want to talk a bit more about your career with MyComputerCareer, a bit about your professional background, what led you to cybersecurity, and what were some pivotal moments?
Great question. Well, it all got started back in the year 2000. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to kick it old school a little bit. And I graduated college and I was unsure what to do. So I ended up enrolling in an IT technical school, and I earned several IT certifications. From there, I had got into a help desk systems administrator role, and then basically worked my way up from there. Later on in my career, I did earn my CISSP along with many other IT certifications. With the focus on the cloud technologies as well as cybersecurity. So presently, I work for MyComputerCareer. I'm a program chair. I'm a lead instructor, and we're just having fun educating.
Oh, so how do your certifications? You had mentioned your CISSP. How does that shape your perspective on cybersecurity education and workforce development?
Well, CISSP, that was by far the most challenging exam I have ever taken. And I've learned a lot. First of all, not only do you learn about cybersecurity and you learn about the ins and outs of it, but this is an exam from the perspective of a manager, all about IT management. So it's all about fixing the process rather than fixing the problem. But you learn through other certifications on how to fix all of the problems, all the technical stuff, all the hands-on stuff, which is great. But with the CISSP, now you got to take it from a different perspective. What would the manager do? What would change management do? And the stuff like that. So it really is a fantastic certification. It was a journey. And there's one thing about CISSP that maybe many folks might not know is that once you pass the exam, you are not a CISSP yet. You have to get endorsed. And that's a whole process in itself, but it really is a great certification to get. I do highly recommend folks, that are in the field that want cybersecurity and then want to eventually get into management. That's a cert for you right there.
It certainly seems that way, especially with how quickly things are evolving, that you aren't just
Oh,
certified one time. It seems like a continuous process.
Oh, it is. It is. Oh, yeah.
So that kind of leads into the next thing I sort of wanted to talk about with cybersecurity talent shortages. It is definitely not a new problem. Could list the huge number of articles and industry reports we've covered on Security InfoWatch, but I kind of want to hear it from someone who's on the ground. What are some of the historical drivers of this issue, and are any modern technologies, trends, any other things exacerbating the problem?
Yes. Yeah. So, cybersecurity has changed. It really, really has. Matter of fact, all of IT has changed, especially with the rise of AI. But let's kick it old school a little bit. So early cybersecurity efforts, they were more reactive back then.
Right.
A lot of things were just reactive. Something happened, this is how we fix it, right? Industries grew faster than actual training was provided, right? Now, there was also back then a lack of specialized cybersecurity education and the hands-on training programs, right? Which really meant that many, not all, but many IT professionals, they just weren't ready to go to dive into such fires as the cyber attacks because they just weren't really heard of back then. In the whole digital world, um, data dependency, it just created more. It created a need for cybersecurity before colleges and career programs actually caught up. Okay, so what happens now? Let's fast forward. So the frequency and the sophistication of cyber attacks, they, as you know, they are rising faster than new professionals can be trained. So again, new technologies like IoT, AI, cloud technologies, that these require skills that aren't really widespread yet, which creates gaps. So what happens now? Okay, so now, companies do suffer from, high turnover, burnout from employees that are just taking on so much, that they're not familiarized with. There's always compensation problems out there, right? Many organizations, they still don't have enough resources or prioritize investment in ongoing cybersecurity education. So what happens? So during the pandemic, that increased a lot of that remote work, right?
Oh,
Which
yes.
widened the attack surface and the skills needed to protect organizations. So that's what's going on today. So the more education that IT professionals get, the more hands-on training that they get from colleges, technical schools, the better, the blue team is. I mean that's just how it's going to be.
Oh, absolutely. And it's good that organizations are finally switching, like you said, from reactive to proactive
Proactive. You
security.
have to be proactive, and AI really plays into that a lot in regards to being more proactive. And it all comes down to your mindset. If you are a proactive type of person, then you're going to look for the problems rather than wait for those problems to come to you.
Yeah, so you can nip them in the bud before a breach even happens.
Right.
So you had mentioned AI. It's a bit of a our other senior editor, Paul Rothman,
Mhm.
he likes to talk a lot about how AI is a trend, it's a hype, it's a buzzword. A lot of people think it's a boogeyman. A lot of people are very afraid that AI is going to make their job
Right.
redundant, it's going to take their
Mm.
job away. So can AI actually help with the
It, it,
process of training?
it can. It really can. So AI can be a huge help, not a threat. It's only a threat if you make it a threat, right? So
Right.
again, when it comes to training and the workforce development, especially in cybersecurity, AI can be huge. So what is it? How does it benefit us? That's always the question. Well, first of all, AI automates a lot of those repetitive tasks out there. Sometimes being an IT pro, listen, I was a systems administrator, look at the log files is not the most exciting thing in the world. It is. I mean, it's not, rather. It's not the most exciting thing out there. But again, AI, it can free people, it can free the time to work towards more strategic work. So AI tools, and there are so many different tools out there. They can handle routine work like anomaly detection, log analysis, alert monitoring, and it can do it very efficiently. Now, is it 100% accurate? No. That's
Nothing ever
another
is.
that's another myth out there. Well, Chat GPT told me to do A, B, and C, so I'm going to go do that. And then before you know it, you're in trouble. No,
Right.
it's not accurate, right? But again, there are tools specifically for cybersecurity professionals, IT pros, right? It just frees up their time to focus more on other complex tasks instead of being bogged down by the repetitive redundant work. That's just one aspect of it. I mean, it is. Now, AI, and again, it all depends what what the company invests in, but it provides personalized learning experiences. That's another great thing about it. How? By analyzing skill gaps and just delivering targeted training recommendations to all levels. So, and this helps workers, IT professionals, even non-IT professionals. It can help them improve their skills a lot faster in the areas that truly matter to their job role. So AI can really personalize that for you. Um, AI systems, when it comes to a detection, a lot of those threats out there, they can do it faster than people can. And it can also predict vulnerabilities before attacks happen. Now, again, not 100% accurate, but it's a lot faster, right? And this allows security teams to act proactively and efficiently rather than being reactive to the situation, right? So again, those are some ways how AI can really be beneficial to an organization.
Exactly. And you had mentioned again that distinction between proactive and reactive, and
Right.
that sort of leads into the next discussion topic as well, where a lot of the time training is not focused specifically or tailored specifically towards the person learning. And of course, every person has different learning objectives, everybody learns differently.
Oh yeah.
So that also kind of pairs with the remote work aspect as well. There
Mhm.
has been a lot of video-based training. I have sat through many, and I am certain that it is no different for cybersecurity professionals who are looking to shore up their skills.
Mhm.
What is the difference between personalized training and video-based training? Why is one more effective than the other? And should there be a significant switch?
Yes. I have done many trainings before. I mean, I'm an instructor. I teach online, yes, but I've done both. I have. I've done both. Now, let's talk a little bit about this because I am very for in-person trainings, and there's reasons why. Now, let's focus a little bit on the limitations of video only cyber training. Okay, video only. First of all, it's passive learning. And we don't have to hint it, but watching a video, it's easy. We can all everybody loves to watch videos, right?
Oh, do them in the background while you're
Right,
doing something else?
background, the cat's going across the desk, right? We're on Facebook, we're on other social media. Okay, but think about retention here. Your retention's going to drop very fast, right? People often click through without truly engaging. So, what are we learning here? We've learned how to fast forward something. That's
Yes.
basically it, right? Now, let's talk accountability now, right? Think of that. If you're learning online, all the videos and all that stuff, it's hard to measure if learning is actually understood here or what you thought you learned, can you apply this material to anything on the job, right?
Who does?
Videos, yeah, yeah, videos can adapt to different skill levels. They really can. It's just a blanket video, right? It
Exactly.
can't, right? It can adapt to questions, real world scenarios. It's just facts. That's all it is. And not for nothing, a lot of them are boring, right?
Oh my
So
goodness. I
a
know
lot of them,
exactly what you
I
mean.
mean, I've sat through them. I'm like, oh, are you kidding?
A
But
lot of a lot of PowerPoint slides, a lot of text.
yeah, let me tell you, when I teach students over at my computer career, right? When I teach, I don't really use the PowerPoint. I have it up for me, just a guide, but I am so engaging and so interactive. That's how you learn. That is how you learn by doing rather than just listening or just watching, right? Now, when it comes to videos, you have a limited behavior change here. So again, knowing what to do isn't the same as actually doing it. And basically what I was just saying, right? So videos rarely influence your day-to-day habits. It's not changing your mindset. It's not changing the way that, the way that you think. You're still going to do the same old thing. Okay, now, and it's also easily ignored. Now, how many times have you watched a video and got distracted, right? So they say they multitask. I'm a firm believer that there's no such thing as multitasking. Your mind is set on one thing. You can have the videos playing, but if your mind is set on checking emails, did you just hear what the person just said, 30 seconds ago?
No way.
Probably not. And if you did, I'm impressed. But multitasking, right? I don't know about that. But again, a lot of folks just let these videos play in the background. So companies are still subjected to these breaches because who or what is the weakest link in an organization? People are the weakest link. And the easiest way to breach a company is through some type of social engineering attack,
Oh,
fooling the
yes.
employee, making the employee do something to give up personal information. And those videos aren't going to, teach you much. Now compare that to in person, which I love it. I've done it many times. It is great. Okay. Active participation is huge. So, participants, they can ask questions. We can practice scenarios, right? We can, I can provide those real-time feedback, all stuff like that. Labs, exercises, role-playing situations, dealing with real threats, and again, showing employees how to react when it comes to certain situations, especially those social engineering attacks. In-person training, and I'm huge on this. Customize it to your audience. If I'm doing a corporate training or a cybersecurity training or AI, whatever, and I'm doing it for a group of dentists, I'm going to, drive my session towards their world so they can relate. That keeps people engaged. Trainers, they can adjust their examples, they can emphasize on, different things based on their audience. Again, it's all customizable. Compared to the videos, it's just a blanket video.
Oh yeah,
Engagement is,
especially since with the rise of AI, a lot of the time hackers are able to use it to generate very convincing social engineering
oh
posts,
yeah,
email addresses that look like it came from a senior leadership at the company. It's happened to me a couple of times. I never opened any myself, but I've certainly received a few very convincing emails that
oh
that
yeah.
needed to be double, triple checked even,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody
Abs-
responds differently.
Absolutely, absolutely. And in-person training, that the face-to-face and that live interaction, what does it create? It creates accountability. It
Right.
creates accountability. People are paying attention to you. People are paying attention. So, and of course, there's always that human connection going on, right? So if you truly are an experienced instructor or a speaker or whatever title that it is, right? Again, experienced instructors, they can motivate and inspire in ways a pre-recorded video just cannot do.
Absolutely. Especially with how quickly threats are accelerating now. The video might be out of date, next week. You know,
A lot
th-
of times they are,
might a new specific type of breach or a new bug or a new worm might be discovered, and it's all of a sudden you have to update all those old resources.
right? Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, video-based cyber training clearly has its problems. And you've mentioned a little bit about what My Computer Career does differently in terms of in-person instruction, in terms of personalized instruction. So, talk a bit about the company's mission. Sort of, how does My Computer Career address the problem of workforce shortages in cybersecurity?
Well, well, in my computer career, we are different. Yes, we are a technical school. We have both in-person and also online platforms, but they're personalized online platforms. But my computer career, their mission is to quickly prepare individuals for an IT career, cybersecurity, help desk. There's a big range, but it's designed to quickly train future IT professionals to become what they want to become through hands-on training, earning IT certifications, and you don't need prior experience, right? So we focus on fast tracking, fast programs. So instead of going to school 4 years in college, we have a very fast program that is designed to get you into the field a lot quicker. That's the mission right there.
That's a very important mission because cybersecurity, especially, I think, is daunting to a lot of people. There's a lot of resources, a lot of training that goes into it. And another thing that we've certainly seen, especially in our coverage on SIW, is there are a lot of people who want this level of in-depth training, but they don't have the resources or they don't have the
Right.
budget. Does your organization have any initiatives for underserved groups, maybe veterans who are interested in pursuing a career in IT, or even just the everyday person who has a little trepidation about upskilling?
Oh yeah. So, my computer career, we definitely cater to veterans, veteran friendly organization. We were recognized as a, top 10 military friendly school, which again supports veterans that are on transitioning, into IT careers. They can use GI Bill and all that other stuff, uh, which is really good. So, there are a lot of options out there in regards to financing and all that stuff. But yeah, we truly do focus on veterans as well as everybody else. But we do offer programs for veterans and really help them to transition into the world of IT. Absolutely.
Oh, that's excellent. So we've talked a little about a little bit about my computer career, sort of what you're doing right now. Are there any initiatives or programs that you guys have in the pipe that you're planning for the future? What's new at the company?
Well, we have a lot of programs going on out there. First of all, we have our ITSA program, Information Technology Security and Administration, which is basically the foundation. That's truly what it is. It's the foundation. It lays out a nice, strong IT foundation. Again, for those that are just new to IT and they're learning about computer hardware, networking, cloud, and more. I mean, there's a lot there. Now, after you finish that program, you have the option to go into more advanced programs like our cybersecurity specialist program, cybersecurity engineering program. This is all geared towards all cybersecurity, and we even offer an associate's program, which is really cool. So for those that want to earn college credits as well as additional high-end cybersecurity certifications, it's there. It is there. We also have a program called the a CWP program. That's the Cyber Warrior program, and that's designed for beginners, and that includes hands-on training. And you work towards CompTIA and Microsoft, Cisco certifications, and the stuff like that. Now we have recently been involved with something called the Upskill Academy, and this is relatively new. And uh, the Upskill Academy, and I'll talk a little bit about this, that this is a Microsoft training service partner, and we are a strategic workforce developer. Okay, so again, we help companies train their IT and tech teams in key areas like cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, Microsoft 365, cloud, and also leadership. And again, this particular program, we assess skills up front, so training fits each learner, and and the goals are produced. So whether you're solving urgent gaps or planning for digital growth, we tie learning to business impact and then also track that return. So this is something new, and it's really good stuff. So again, this program offers live instructor training, um, online environment, right? And again, it's all supported by coaching, hands-on labs, simulation, certification prep, and all that. So whether you're training one employee or thousands, right? The format accommodates and adapts to your needs. It's a very, very good stuff.
I mean, that certainly seems like a good way to go about it, especially considering how strapped a lot of budgets are. I feel like a lot of network breaches could be preemptively prevented with with a service like that.
Oh yeah.
So thank you so much. Before I let you go, I wanted to get your perspective on sort of what you think is the future looks like here. I know legislation and geopolitics are a little part of it, but tech is evolving so rapidly that you know what today's threats are probably not going to be relevant in 10 years, maybe not even next year. So how do you see the cybersecurity and IT job markets in particular changing in that future? Because I
Well,
don't foresee it becoming any less essential of a thing to deal
oh,
with.
oh no, it's going to become more, especially again, with artificial intelligence. That's the thing to really get under your belt now is just to learn that stuff, learn the lingo. I know that more AI certifications are coming out there, but again, I mean, I did a little research again in the past, and uh, in 2025, there are more. I mean, there are hundreds of thousands of cybersecurity job openings that have happened in the United States. Whether you hear about it or not, sometimes you don't always hear about these job postings. But again, there is a demand, and it's projected all the way through 2030, and a lot of it is dealing with
Wow.
AI. Now, there's one thing to understand about information technology, and this is what I learned, just by being in the industry and talking and studying and all that. Security roles, they are no longer just technical. A lot of folks think that they're technical roles only. It was back in the day. Trust me, it was. But now, again, IT is always changing. These security roles are becoming critical business functions now across all industries. It's more of a critical business function rather than I'm going to go swap out a power supply. No, no, no. So they are embedding IT with everything now. That's what I say. I've been saying this for a long time. The IT department is no longer a separate IT department. Everybody's in IT now. Everyone is in IT at some level. So it's crazy stuff. Traditional roles, they are diversifying, right? Skills in cloud security, threat intelligence, security architecture. It's all in demand. And again, you have to blend this stuff with techie stuff and now business stuff. It's kind of a hybrid type of environment now. As you know, and we spoke, AI automation, huge. You have to know it's. I mean, you have to get involved with that. I know that some folks think, oh, it's just a thing. No, AI is here. It's going to be here for a while. It is here to stay. Now, at what level? I don't know. You can go on Facebook and you see all this crazy different stuff. You can't believe everything. But uh, AI automation, huge. Again, cloud, IoT, big data, huge out there, especially big data. And I mean, just the movement to cloud computing, the Internet of Things, IoT, big data. Again, I mentioned it's what it's doing. It's expanding the attack surface. It's creating this demand for specialists who truly understand these environments. That's why I say, go to school. Go to technical school, schools such as YCC, and you learn about this stuff because that's where it all is. But you need to start someplace, correct? So, so I mean, that's really what it's going. But the one thing about AI is that you have to understand, it's not, from my perspective, it's not going to replace you. It's not going to replace your job. Though you may go on social media and say, oh, this company just laid off this amount of. AI is great, but you still need people to overlook it. AI is great to assist you in your job, make things faster, but who is making the ultimate decision? You or AI? I'm hoping it's you. If you allow AI to make all your decisions, we're going to have a problem. So
I mean, you see all of the stuff it hallucinates up. You got to have someone overseeing that.
you have to have people make the final decision. That's why people are your most important asset. And that's one of the things that you learn right off when you do your CISSP studies. People are your number one asset. Though the industry is changing more to data being your number one asset, but people overlook it. So in my eyes, people are still number one. So companies need to continue to invest in their employees, but do it the right way. Yeah, legislation out there. I mean, the government's always pushing things, passing things. The U.S. government, they are committed to, really ramping up the cyber workforce. They have programs out there. I'm not even sure whether you know or not, but the a national cyber workforce and the education strategy. These programs, they help prioritize wider access, diversity, training, really, which includes veterans, underserved groups, and stuff like that. So there are plenty of programs out there. You just have to dig a little bit to find them, but they're there. And as technology advances, and as again the roles become hybrid, where it's more business, right? Compensation is going to catch up with that now, because now the CFO could also be heavily involved with with the technology, new regulations, frameworks. There's always stuff out there. Again, including increased requirements for privacy, risk management, compliance. All that stuff is out there, and that's creating more jobs, and that's going to drive up wages and stuff like that. So, that's really it. But the key to this whole conversation is education. It all comes down to continuous education. So lifelong learning. If you want to get into IT, if you want to get into business, you're also getting into IT. It's all about continuously investing in yourself. And that's one of the things that My Computer Career does with their students. No matter what program they're in, we're always investing in them. And as an instructor there, I'm constantly doing that. So it's all about learning, changing your mindset, and saying, okay, my new chapter begins here. Chapter 2 starts today here in school or wherever you are. I'm going to change my mindset. I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to choose a road to go down in IT that makes me happy. And I'm going to, until the day that I retire, I'm always going to be investing in my education.
Well, that's an excellent insight, I think, to end us on there, Russ. So thank you so much for coming to Security DNA. It's been great having you on, having someone on the ground to talk about the cyber workforce shortages, million other things that we didn't even get into, but hopefully this is enough to hammer home how important cyber preparedness is. I wouldn't say is becoming, already is.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure being here. Great conversation.
Thank you for the insights, and thank you for tuning in. This podcast is your go-to source for staying ahead in the security industry. It offers sharp insights, real-time trends, and straight talk for industry professionals. It's built to keep you informed and empowered wherever you are. Stay connected, stay sharp, and maintain security at the forefront. To access our podcast lineup, go to podbean.com and search for Security DNA. You can also find our podcast in our Security Frontline, Integrator Newswire, and Security Week e-newsletters. Of course, we'd love to receive feedback from you, our listeners, about topics that interest you. If you have a suggestion, email Steve at SecurityInfoWatch.com. Security DNA is powered by SecurityInfoWatch and Endeavor B2B brand. And from myself, Russ, and everyone at SecurityInfoWatch, thank you for listening, and keep an ear open for our next podcast.